Thank you very much, Madam Deputy Speaker, for calling me to make my maiden speech. It's a pleasure to be speaking after so many excellent maiden speeches from South Norfolk, from South West Norfolk, obviously Esher and Walton, and Gloucester, and St Neots and Cambridge. So that takes up a bit of time, but I think it's important that these excellent speeches are acknowledged, and I enjoyed listening to them all. It's a great privilege for me to stand here today representing Mid Dunbartonshire and the communities that are close to my heart. I've lived there for 30 years, and it's where both my sons went to school. Mid Dunbartonshire is in Scotland, in case you hadn't noticed. And it's a new constituency following boundary changes this year. It sits 100% inside the East Dunbartonshire Council area, as did the old constituency of East Dunbartonshire, but it now includes Lennoxtown and Milton of Campsie to the north and some of Lenzie to the east. And I'm delighted these towns are now in the constituency I represent, but my sorrow is that it doesn't include Kirkintilloch East and Twecher, which are also dear to my heart and where I've been a councillor since 2017. But I'm sure the member opposite for Cumbernauld and Kirkintilloch will look after the community there, and it was good to hear her highlighting the problems there are with local bus services in her maiden speech. Of course, it goes without saying that Mid Dunbartonshire is actually the best constituency in the UK. Local towns are regularly promoted as the best place to live in the UK, Bearsden in 2021 and Kirkintilloch in 2024. And in 2017, Women's Hour revealed East Dunbartonshire as the best place in Britain for women to live. Incidentally, that was when Jo Swinson began her third term as the Liberal Democrat MP for East Dunbartonshire. So I want to thank Jo for all her work in the constituency. I also want to recognise her successor, Amy Callaghan. I particularly want to recognise the personal challenges that Amy overcame during her time as an MP. She has shown such courage in her service to the community, and I wish her well in the future. And I also want to thank Councillor Stuart MacDonald, who was the MP for the newer part of the constituency. I know that he is held in very high regard in that area and with much affection. So I'm pleased to be speaking in the debate on Lord Darcy's report, because I know only too well the challenges that individuals and families have to face when our health lets us down. My husband had a brain hemorrhage in 2006, which changed our lives in an instant. I became his full-time carer, and I couldn't continue in my profession, and he was never able to return to his career. From being comfortably off, life changed to watching every penny. Without the support of our family, we could have lost our home, and we were very fortunate. Friends in our community helped me to survive and get on with life. I can't praise NHS Greater Glasgow and Clyde enough. My husband spent months getting well enough to come home from hospital. Perhaps we were actually lucky by the timing, because the excellent and talented and caring staff had the resources at that time that I have seen declining ever since. I worked in the NHS before a career in medical marketing, and I know the NHS from working in it, from working with it, and from my experience visiting my husband. And latterly, I have been aware of the integration of health and social care through my role in the council. So I know the pressures that professionals are under, good, kind, caring professionals, to become as efficient as possible, and they are absolutely doing their best to do that. Looking back, this was the beginning of me becoming involved in politics. I was thrown into the space which our society refers to as community. I know why it's important for government to fund local authorities and communities and give them real power. They prevent costs to the NHS every day by stopping the revolving door of treatment, discharge home, relapsing back into treatment. They support self-care and well-being. They are our CPS, and not the Crown Prosecution Service, but our Community Prevention Service, which pays back investment in spades by preventing costs. What makes Mid Dunbartonshire special is its people and communities. During COVID, like in other places, the community stepped up to support each other, and these groups are still helping with shopping and patient transport. There are groups of volunteers fighting climate change, reducing social isolation, providing mental health support, peer support, supporting carers, providing financial advice, helping with housing problems, looking after community buildings, preserving our heritage, knitting for peace, promoting fair trade, performance art and more. Tackling problems at home and internationally, Mid Dunbartonshire people care and take action. And from listening to other Maiden speakers, I know that this is happening all over the UK. And Liberal Democrats want to harness that power for good. One message that came across loud and clear for me, and forgive me, Madam Deputy Speaker, but I think that the experience I had of people speaking to me on the doorsteps in Mid Dunbartonshire is that they're tired of voting against things. They want to be able to vote positively for things. And in Mid Dunbartonshire, we have Thomas Muir of Hunters Hill from Bishopbriggs, who was a famous son, and he lived at the end of the 18th century, and he was a strenuous advocate of equal representation of the people in the House of the People, where I stand today. In his words, "I have devoted myself to the cause of the people. It's a good cause, and it shall ultimately prevail. It shall finally triumph." The fight for fair votes prompted revolution at the end of the 18th century, and Thomas Muir was found guilty of sedition and transported to Australia for his efforts. In the 19th century, it took 3 Reform Acts of this House to slowly extend voting rights for men. In the 20th century, the Representation of the People Act in 1918 gave voting rights to some women and men over 21, but it wasn't until 1928 that all adults had the right to vote. And today, in the 21st century, the call for better democracy continues. The turnout in Mid Dunbartonshire for this election was almost 72%, but many constituencies had a turnout in the low 40%, and the result shows a clear failure to engage a huge number of voters. So very quickly, I call on the government to consider the mandate that the result of the election gave them carefully, to treat every potential voter with dignity and respect, and make the change to give every vote an equal weight, no matter where it is cast. This is an opportunity to end self-serving and self-obsessed politics and truly introduce the politics of service. So I will join with my colleagues in this place to scrutinise government proposals and work constructively with them to improve the quality of life for my constituents and all residents of the UK who make up the rich diversity of our communities.